In my part 4 in my series of videos about the Sigma DP cameras that I've owned and the Foveon sensor and why I like it and all that sort of stuff. So previous episodes, part 1 and part 2, both were talking about the Sigma DP1. Part 3 was about the Sigma DP2 Merrill, and part 4 is about the Sigma DP2 Merrill, which was the last Sigma camera that I owned. And I had this one, I bought this one in May 2018 and sold it 16 months later, but we'll come on to that. So again, as with the DP2 Merrill, image quality is just unbelievable from these cameras, and at least the DP2 Merrill was more pocketable than the DP2. Of course, DP2 has a different focal length entirely. It's equivalent to about 45mm focal length in 35mm terms. So that's kind of what people generally call a standard lens field of view. And I have to admit, one of the reasons that I did end up selling this camera was because I don't really get on with the standard focal length that well. I'm just not, I don't know why. I just prefer the 28mm or at most kind of a 35mm focal length. Standard just doesn't quite work for me. I guess, you know, that's my fault. You know, I should probably work harder to make it work for me, but it doesn't seem to work as well for me. So I wasn't entirely happy with the focal length, and that's the main reason that I ended up selling it. And as I mentioned in the DP2 episode, one of the other reasons that I don't really get on with the Merrill set of cameras from Sigma is because the file sizes are huge, and I don't feel I need that much data in the files. I was quite happy with the, you know, kind of the 15 meg files that the DP1, the original DP1 put out. It gave me more than enough for my needs. Don't really need it to be 45 meg. However, as I say, this camera, I kept it for 16 months, sold it in August 2019. And again, I just didn't use it enough. Felt as though I was getting better value from other cameras, so it had to go. You know, it's a lot of investment to have in a camera, because they do hold their money well, which is good. You know, it means again I didn't lose anything when I sold it, and that's great. But yeah, it had to go. So does this mean that I'm finished with my love affair of the Foveon sensor and Sigma cameras? No. What this means, having looked back over this this fairly, not very extensive, but for me fairly extensive back catalogue of images, it means I've realised why it was that I really was in love with the Sigma Foveon thing, and why I want to go back to it. So watch this space. It won't be an original DP camera because they're just not reliable enough. It won't be a Merrill camera because the file sizes are much bigger than I really need or want. So I'm going to have to look for something else.